There he is. What's up, Donnie?
What's up, Mike? I haven't talked to you in a long time, buddy.
Yeah, it's good to see you.
Yeah, how are you?
Fantastic, thank you.
Hey.
All right, I'm here to get yelled at in person. Feed me your anger. Make me stronger. Do it. Strike
I think
me
some
down.
might be AFK.
Perfect.
Get the prep.
We're off to a great start.
Yep. I'll start it off with, yo, we fuck with this game heavy, obviously.
True.
Like, dude, this is insane. Like, I don't think we've had a game like this pop up and be like, yo, here's all your time, and we're gonna delete it now. It's good.
So what do you mean? We've all played DayZ before. That's exactly what that is.
It's Dino DayZ for sure, but
Give me your time and let me throw it through a wood chipper.
Sure.
Listen, difference between DayZ and this one is like we all can headshot versus only one guy headshotting.
Actually, kind of true. Yeah.
Which one?
I'm following.
So I think one of the main concerns with most of us is like there's no like the proper wording on it. You said it before, but there's no punishment for when people do certain things on herbivores, right? Like you're sitting there with your tail up the entire time, waiting to do your heavy hit. That should drain you. You know what I mean? Instead of just dropping it like multiple attacks, kind of like a machine gun with your tail, where there's like no way around it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's some of the
like,
concerns.
is there supposed to be a window in that combat? I guess.
There are windows, depending on the dinosaur which you are. There's a certain level of what I would say, at least for you guys, because I did catch the part where the community responded and filled in the blanks with their Mad Libs of "we don't care about balance."
Yeah.
There's a certain level of adherence that we do follow for the dinosaurs, where some of them we've kind of embellished because a lot of them are just insert walking mouth with teeth. And you can only do the thing that runs on two legs and bites something so many times before it's just not fun. But at the moment, with the roster that we had put in, and I know that the current complaint, at least what I've seen from you all, is the Stegosaurus. When we were reworking the game, I said from the very start, hey community, Stegosaurus is probably a little too big, and it sounds like a bad idea, and it's what they really wanted. And I said, okay, but just so you know,
Died of hunger.
it's gonna be quite larger than the small roster that we are trying to start out with, intentionally so, because in the original version of the game, you can pick any dinosaur at any time. 90% of the people are going to pick the big thing. And that's it. It just crushes out all opportunities of the ecosystem. So we're trying to start with the smaller things and then work our way into the larger stuff. Stegosaurus just happened to get slotted in really, really early. And it's kind of a bad idea, but the main predator that actually does hunt it and eat it on a historical level is right around the corner, including other apex predators that really just don't care about the Stegosaurus at all. The way that we are currently looking at offsetting it, of course, is you get those growth times. Most of what you all have played currently is very linear. You have a pretty solid, like, straight line from your juvenile to your adult phase in terms of how quickly you are physically growing, how much weight you are putting on, which this stuff does kind of affect your character. And so it's just, okay, if your dinosaur takes 8 hours to grow, if they start at weight X and they end at weight Y, if you look at the dead center of their growth time, it's going to be in the exact middle of that, which is not true for a lot of the animals coming in now, because they're large, they have to have quick growth spurts, they have to have windows of complete vulnerability so that later when you're this towering kick-ass super predator, you feel like you've earned it. You also go through phases where you're a fast little speedy predator versus a slow hulking, it doesn't matter, this food is mine because I found it now, and there's nothing you can do because I'm that big. There's a lot of variety that's supposed to be coming in, but on the Stegosaurus, to address something very directly, he used to put his tail down. He got bodied by everything. Every cooperative group that went against the Stegosaurus back then annihilated it. Ceratosaurus, Omniraptor, Carnotaurus could, it no longer can. I think that factually I can be pretty comfortable in saying it can't do that anymore. So we left its tail up. It does drastically reduce damage, yeah, but it may not be enough for the moment. But that's why we have the Horde test up. We get to change this in real time and see what happens.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, a lot of it does boil down to like, hey, this is what the animal is, and deal with it. If it doesn't matter if there were 5 ceratosaurs and you guys brought something down, and an adult tyrannosaur walked out of the tree line and said, well, this food is mine, shy of you all just desecrating the corpse with your vomit so he can't have it, you lose the fight because he's a T-Rex. And that's an unfairness I think that a lot of people see, and it's a fair observation as well.
I get like what you're saying when it comes to like certain dinos and shit like that, but like you have like a base that wants to play your game that is used to some kind of balancing, right? So like you said that the dino is just, it is what it is, deal with it, whatever. But like when you're fighting this fucking stego and it one taps you at 50 HP baby dino, or 50% baby dino, and it one taps you because the way that the fucking tail works, it doesn't matter if it headshots you or not because there's that weird fucking radius you guys give it. It's just like what is like, do we just avoid these dinos? Like you put these dinos in there and have like a PvE type of vibe, but these guys go around hunting, taking advantage of OP dino, and then you release the dino without a counter to it. You know what I mean? So like that also didn't make any sense.
When we did that, we were a lot smaller when we gave that opportunity for the community and they had selected the stego.
I'm confused. It's like balance one way, but not another. It's like if you suck as a Sarah, deal with it. But if you're getting your ass kicked on a stego, fix it.
Oh my god. Like Yo.
I'm trying to. I think the balance might be that you don't kill the stego with a Sarah. Like you're supposed to use a different.
It's a natural predator. I mean,
So,
I
yeah,
guess.
I don't know.
Whatever.
It's like the GTA like conversation with cops. You're not meant to lose the cops. They're meant to win.
Yeah,
shit.
what I'm getting here is it's like, I mean, our big question was balance or no balance.
Sorry,
I'm
back.
We get the idea. So I got so basically it's balanced to be pure to what the lore would be of a dinosaur.
To a degree, because there's a few things in there that I heard that I would have to look at, because the weird radius, I would actually want to see an example of what the weird radius is, just so we're on the same page. Because that to me, if someone says weird radius, it's obviously already got a bad feeling, and we try to avoid stuff just feeling bad, because that's never
minus
fun.
the radius thing. You just said that if if a Sarah's getting their shit kicked in, it's like you deal with it. That's how the dinosaurs are going to be. But then you just said that also, when the stego's getting its ass kicked, you guys fix it. So is it like fix the big boys and leave the little guys? Is it like balanced only purely to, like I said, like dinosaur times?
No, not entirely. There's definitely a certain balance that we try to achieve, especially when things are in their, I don't want to say like weight class, but we try to say like size ranges, because we have smaller dinosaurs that they really need to be able to punch up a little bit. When it comes to something like Stegosaurus doing a thing like, it one taps a Ceratosaurus, obviously, well, if it was healthy, that's one thing, but hearing that if a Stegosaurus is on its last legs and it's doing it, I would have to verify that, because that's not supposed to happen. As animals get injured, I do believe it's right now we have it at the 50% mark. So once you've lost half of your health, your dinosaur actually starts losing like overall stats and effectiveness, including their capability to attack. So especially like if it's not a full-size Stegosaurus, you guys really shouldn't be having that much of a problem. Like, so for instance, I haven't been watching. You guys, did you all stack your bacterial bites and stuff on it, cause them to vomit and all that?
Yeah, I mean, we're going for small nips.
7 stegos since.
Yeah, a good example is yesterday we fought a stego that just finished probably 20 minutes before that, killing 3 other Saras. You could tell he was injured, he was resting and everything like that. He ended up knocking Chodie down and then running up in one tap in Chodie about halfway through the fight after he was made to puke 3 different times, constant head bites. Chodie still died to him. And so the stego ended up dying maybe 15 minutes later with like full constant pressure on him, but we were still pressure, so he had to have been below 50%. So
was that before or after the 5 dibbles showed up to protect him? Was that after?
No, it was the one we killed yesterday. You remember at Highlands
when there was the 3 of them, or the one that was a baby one?
The one that
we
was
got the one that was a youngster. Yeah,
and he still killed Chodie.
Still a raid boss.
Yeah, so that's a good example of he may not have been 50% when we rolled up to him after killing those 3 other Saras that were full grown, but then we started putting pressure on him. He was puked multiple times, and he was still able to kill Chodie, who was full grown.
Yeah, my thing is, bro, it's like, it doesn't matter how skilled you are at playing the dino you chose to play, because you can bob, dodge, and weave, and like really play it out, get them sick and all that stuff, and in the end, most of the time, like 9 times out of 10, a baby dino will one-shot you. It's like you made a dino for dummies. You ever read those books like This for Dummies? Like that, the Stego for Dummies is what it is basically. Because it's just OP.
So when you say the baby dinos one-shot you, I assume you're just referring to baby Stegosaurus?
Yeah, I mean the Diblos is a whole nother fucking conversation. I'm just talking about Stegos right now.
Fucking Diblos.
No, that's fair enough. I just want to make sure that when I take a note, I'm being very specific.
I think from the games we played, we look at every dino, like, at least I've been looking at every dino like it's its own class. You know, like the game is more than a dino game. It's like an open world PvP class based game. So I guess it feels weird that like some people just feel like they're so OP, you know, like a super OP class. Like in most games, you feel like every class should be able to hopefully take on another class, and obviously other classes will have counters. So is it like, does it feel OP because we're just using the wrong class against the Stego class, you know? Is that how it's supposed to be looked at?
So honestly, I'd have to watch.
Okay.
It's possible for groups of Ceratosaurus to take down Stegosaurus. Obviously, once there's 2 of them, it gets exponentially harder because now there's 2 raid bosses, and that sucks.
Yeah.
When there's 3, then it's just like, why waste our time? So
100%. I agree with that.
Which, to be fair, in some instances, now don't get me wrong, I'm not referring to combat, because if combat feels bad and just overall like ass, that's no fun and it needs to be addressed. But seeing like 3 Stegosaurs is kind of, unless you're big enough to take one of them down on your own for sure, why waste the time? But the same thing said for smaller stuff, you know, that's fighting a Ceratosaurus. Omniraptor does really well against Stegos. When there's 2 of them, it's tough, but it is absolutely doable. I've watched plenty of people do it. I've also been victims to it.
You need 8 of those, though. You need like fucking 6 or 8 raptors to pin them down. That's why it's easy for a 1v1 where we have like 5 or 6 fucking Sarahs fighting one, not even a full size Stego. And I think, like I said, that's our main issue. Because like if you would make here's how we fight a Stego, right? We all juke, we all bob, we try to get the weights to stand out. One of us dies to give us the 50% bonus so that we can actually survive a hit. But the fact that it can just one-shot you from a mid-body shot, whether it's the tail's up or down, and it fucking destroys you, like that to me is putting a one-shot gun in a game and saying, well, hey, listen, if you're not skilled enough, go find another dino to fight. But how are you skilled against a one-shot dino when you're playing your best and you have an idiot playing that dino?
That's a tough question, bro. I understand Stegos, right?
Yeah.
They're big badasses, right? They could be taken down in groups, yada yada. When they're in a
You
group,
came in
you
with
might
the
as well not
fucking
touch them.
beast question. Goddamn.
What about Dibbles though?
Oh, the angry potato.
Yeah, man, that guy isn't. I don't even. They're Stegos in themselves.
He currently has a timing issue that needs to be addressed, which has been in our current testing environment. He also has something that he's supposed to be able to do that's very difficult to do at the moment due to the angle of attack, and I guess moving apparently cancels it, and we didn't catch that bug. But he's supposed to be able to knock people down, and then if they do not get up quick enough, of which this is also being addressed, the time at which dinosaurs are going to get up is much quicker now. If he can knock you down properly, he has the ability to actually gore you on the ground, which is where the vast majority of his damage will come in. But he does have some unfun forward momentum with his flip attack. His head's a little wider than it should be, and that's known, and that just sucks. And for the moment, the best I can do is go, yeah, I know, and I'm sorry.
Okay, that's good. Honestly, I like to hear that though.
It's just openly ass, and sometimes that stuff slips through, and then it's just, hey, just go on the next horde test, and we'll check it in combat and make sure, because usually it's the weird stuff is like the detection of the dinosaur being slightly out of whack as opposed to it being damaged. So it's like, oh, great, this thing that moves as fast as a car and then basically has an 8-foot hole of death on the back of it is reaching an extra 6 feet out, and that's extremely noticeable because it's not like it's human hand-to-hand combat where a little bit of desync you might not notice that these things are
was me getting stunned by a dibble
pain
by touching the tip of my tail.
And when there's extreme power disparity between two animals, that like light level of unfun becomes like, let's uninstall this shit. Can Steam refund me past 2 hours? Let's give it a shot.
Yeah, I just died to a dibble that did that forward charge to the tip, just the tip of my tail. And I thought I was out of range. And yeah, exactly, kind of that forward charge. I was a direct victim of that just a second ago. A question.
Well,
go ahead.
So something with that, I would wonder what the current server FPS would be, because that sounds like desync, because those things, despite them having a little bit of a wide kind of noggin right now, they have to hit, like, they pretty much have to be in your ass from behind to be able to knock you down.
Definitely desync then, for sure.
Yeah, because it's not even like, oh, can they hit the meaty part of your tail? It's like, no, they have to hit the base where it connects to your pelvis.
The booty.
Because it used to be, oh, you could do it on its tail tip intentionally, and it sucked.
Yeah.
Hey, Dondi.
So, hi, Bike.
Are you guys still working on collisions so the dinos don't clip through each other anymore?
Okay, yes, no, kind of, because there's certain realities that I just have to swallow. I can either give you guys a finished game, or I can give you guys Dino Star Citizen, and I don't want to be Dino Star Citizen. At a certain point, I want to be done.
You were working on it at some point, right?
Yes, yeah.
Didn't work out, huh?
So there is currently like that kind of like meager capsule collision. There's still a level of advanced collision that we want to do for kind of like your extended torso. So we've got like the Triceratops coming in. It's basically the Diablo, then crank it up 150, 250% in size. With its capsule collision being directly inside of it, it means you could like walk through its legs. And so we don't want that to happen. But at a certain point, like, hey, sauropods are going to probably clip through stuff, and there's only so much we can do. It's even like with doing like IK, right? I could have animations that are going to be really, really, really synchronized. Or I could have slightly desynchronous animations in terms of like dinosaur contact, and then where people are shooting is actually going to be where they're shooting. Because when it's a dinosaur that's 14 meters long and 13 feet tall at the hip, you know, where his neck placement is, when there's that little bit of IK to kind of make sure he's not doing anything weird, is now like 5 to 6 feet apart. And if you're trying to genuinely, like, you know, shoot a dinosaur or even aim an attack at something smaller, That's a lot of room for error that I think would be really
Shooting,
unfun
chat.
for the people on the other
You hear
side.
that? Shooting, chat. He's referring to humans. Humans will be able to shoot. That's all I'm gonna say.
I call it a Vrima. Honestly, I didn't come up with a name. I don't even remember, man. I just call it the game because I don't refer to Legacy as anything anymore. That's just kind of like a sad corpse in a locker buried out back.
What was the problem with Legacy?
Spaghetti code.
No, let's be nice here. Stop that bike. We're PC now. Remember, we have to adopt the Solus Corpo motto, CYA, and shut the fuck up, Friday. No, we went too far in one direction. That was not the right direction, and to try and continue to add stuff on top of it was problematic. I was presented reasons to just start from scratch. They were sound reasons. I trusted in the judgment of the people that advised me to do so, and we did so.
I knew it'd be anything. Well, I have people coming into the chat asking about are they going to be able to shoot. So that's why.
So is the plan to bring over? I mean, what is there a thought process in your head, like a number in your head for the amount of dinos you want to end with?
It's written down somewhere. Hold on. The pull out. I feel like I have to pull out like a file for this. Give me a moment.
Are you still gonna add like the crazy Apex dinos, like that Spino you showed me that caused thunderstorms?
Oh, that was it. So, buddy, you know that's a comment. I told you the secret. All right, everybody, we're gonna pull back the curtain for a moment and reveal the magic and sap away all the Disney spirit for you. That was a that was a mixture of commands. That is when you set yourself to a maximum amount of health, and then you slay yourself, it shoots that lightning bolt down. That old smite command. So if you change the weather and smite yourself at the same time due to the speed at which the weather changed, it just looked like you caused a lightning bolt.
Okay, well that was badass, but are you still gonna use that dino because it was cool looking?
That's kind of tight.
That's Brandon's flagship dinosaur before he passed. That dinosaur cannot not make it into the game.
Right
It's got a big deal. So yeah, we're keeping it for him.
What's the plan with humans? Is it going to be like mostly primitive, or like there's no like advanced tech bullshit, right? Like fucking plasma rifles and rocket launchers from space?
Nope.
All right, good.
No. Big. The most you'll get is a. You know what? I'm not going to promise this because I used to do this type of thing, and then we would test it, and it would be a bad idea, and everyone would go, "Where is it?" And then we tested it. It was horrible. We're going to try with going up to like 50 caliber. Does this mean you could just obliterate something and turn it into mist if it's not a large creature? I mean, yeah, you could.
Yeah, it's 50 cal. That makes sense.
Yeah. But the thing is from the human perspective and how incredibly slow you are compared to the entire roster. If you fire a gun, you just ring a massive dinner bell. There's no concept of the human like winning for an extended period of time. You have certain circumstances of extreme superiority for very temporary periods of time, unless you stick to a very specific location that you could just fortify or defend and basically say, if you come through this door, you eat lead and you die. Otherwise, it's a bad time. Like even tyrannosaurs are just straight up ninjas in the jungle.
Hell yeah.
So did you want to ask him about the starting points and like just for like the beginner stages of baby and dinos?
Map travel.
Do you have plans for the kind of the parts of the map that aren't like really people don't really go to them very much?
Yeah, we had a bit of problem with this map because as we had created it and we had made the jump from UE4 to UE5, we basically had to recycle the map in its entirety to get things working from the old system of world composition to world partition. And it was very painstaking process, and we lost a lot of progress on that front. So there are plans for a lot of those areas. We actually have there's a Steam branch up called the Horde Test right now that has an extended area of the river delta going up into the northeast to help with that otherwise what people felt a boring and linear path for traveling that didn't have much to offer. So there's a lot. There's, of course, tunnels that start connecting all of the human areas that are being planned as well. We've got quite a few in there.
This is the final map?
One of.
I like one.
Good to hear, because I hate this map.
One of sounds cool. This map, I like the map. It wasn't my only exposure. I don't know the other maps, so this is for us. A lot of us is the only thing we know.
The whole west side of the map is great. The whole swamp area, I feel like it only exists for Crocs and it's just dead.
Yeah, and Crocs, like I love the Dino Circus. It's my favorite thing that I've played.
I mean, East.
Love it.
But every time I end up in the swamp, I'm like, fuck, man. Like, I have to get to Southern Plains or I'm going to starve.
There's a lot of human feature that we were having in the swamp that hadn't made it in during the transition from UE4 to UE5 because we couldn't actually work on all of that. So that's where some of that attraction comes in.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there any thought on like maybe some spawning areas be like a little bit different in the future? Like, is it supposed to be a thing where you spawn at like one of the most contested PvP places in the game, and then like there's just 100%ers around you? Is that like an intended thing? You want it to be kind of like Wild West mode?
No, actually, so where you refer to, I'm assuming, is the South Plains. The spawn zone for that actually didn't exist there in the previous patch, and I looked back. I'm not sure how it reverted itself to the old position, but in the Horde test, it doesn't exist there anymore. You actually have several different routes of travel around it for your spawns now. You don't actually have to go inside. Also, there is every carnivore enabled in that spawn, which is also not supposed to happen. So
Gotcha.
that was probably me testing something, and then I slipped up and did something dumb, leaving it there.
Gotcha. Has there ever been a thought process on like some sort of starting zones, kind of like how you guys have the bees, but maybe like in larger form?
There's expansion ideas to the concept of sanctuaries. Two things. One, they're a bit of they're not a bit. They're a pain in the ass to navigate right now. We will move it to where we have concentrated clusters of it on the inside, so larger animals have a little bit easier time to move around, and we actually build appropriate cycad walls on the exterior. We also want to put sanctuaries along rivers because they don't work as like some big area like it's on land. We would basically have these kind of like pockets of sanctuaries. So if you're a small animal swimming down it, you can kind of like hopscotch from one safe area to the next because the bigger things can't get in it.
Okay.
And then of course the ocean being a little bit different. If you've ever been over to the East Harbor, there's a bay inside of there that we're looking at for an opportunity to basically have as a starting area for aquatics and stuff. But as for like a concentrated kind of starting zone, we want it to kind of be varied enough you could do a little bit of choose your own adventure. So for carnivores, we want to have like chickens, rats, other small things. Like right now they spawn right in front of you, and they spawn right in front of you because they have to. Because of the way that the grass and the vegetation was set up, if they're not in front of you, you almost never see them.
New emote, chat! New emote!
But we want to move those also to being kind of the concept of a starting sanctuary, but for carnivores. So you can go to these human areas, you see a bunch of cages and stuff that looked like it would have been holding for poultry and other stuff they used to would live feed dinosaurs. And hey, that's where you can go find your small food as carnivores. But beyond that, I wouldn't label anything else really as a starter zone because I don't want to prompt too much of it. We've tried, and you start getting the people that
have you guys asked about
it's like
early
getting those
and
people
mid-game
that like,
PvP
all right,
benefits.
we know that the new people are going to come here, and they're not preying on you because they're slightly larger and they genuinely would benefit from your death. It's because there are a lot of people in this, unfortunately, their fun is to just ruin the fun of others.
Yeah, I get it. Okay.
I had a question about the AI since you brought that up. Wait, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So when we spawn in, one of my major issues sometimes where I get annoyed because we reset a lot sometimes, you know what I'm saying? And I'm spending like 40 minutes trying to find a fucking goat or a deer as a baby, and then on the from A to B to get to North Lake to West Rail, there's nothing spawning in between. And then when I do finally find something spawning, it's tucked behind a rock in a corner and 5 deer spawned in front of me. So is there anything looking into the AI spawns and trying to space those out, and so if you can actually feel like when you spawn in you're actually a predator hunting and there's actual animals?
I would be honest with you, I'm not the AI guy. I'm going to tell you that based off of what I heard, I went, huh, that sounds awful. And it doesn't happen to me, so I have survivor bias. But clearly now I want to go and try that. And I'm not saying that in any way, shape, or form, why would you have wasted my time not telling me the truth? But now I want to see it, because that's awful and that would have to be addressed. There's the concept for AI. Of course, we have dinosaur AI coming in, but we want to actually kind of try and reduce it in areas where there's an overabundance of players. Right now we have it kind of spawning on people because more than anything, we kind of want to get the behaviors checked out. Even right now, I do know the primary thing being looked at is if you've chased deer or boar, they kind of do this weird stop, pivot, change direction. It's for a fraction of a second sometimes.
Oh,
and then
yeah.
sometimes, that's it's gross, right? You're just what are you, a shitty Terminator?
It's a little jank. I've noticed what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're trying to smooth all that stuff out, but spawning wise, that's just straight up no bueno. That's awful. No, that's not cool.
Yeah, we've seen piles of turtles, piles of turtles on one part of the beach and one part of the map.
Oh yeah, that's another thing.
Time out. That was not
East
an
Coast.
official.
Okay. All right, we got to take that out then.
But on officials, you don't fucking see a sea turtle to save your life. From what I've seen. But yeah.
Okay, I guess I'm gonna have to just start watching you. We're gonna have to.
We'll just give people to clip stuff.
Lost all patience.
No,
we don't.
We'll just start. We'll give people to clip
listen,
stuff for sure.
Sheesh. I yell a lot. I'm unpleasant to watch while playing the dino game.
Yeah.
I see a dibble and I instantly am already mad.
My brother in Christ, there is nothing you could say that would remotely surprise me. I promise you.
Okay, as long as you're cool with that.
In-game map, why the fuck do I have to keep using websites?
Oh yeah, that too.
Ever since I got the game, it's hey, welcome to the game. You need to go to this website.
Alt tab. Oh,
That's true. It's the first thing we have to. That's the very first thing we have to tell all our friends. Is make sure you know this site.
Yeah, bookmark this.
Don't use this shitty fucking outdated map.
Yeah, right. Honestly, it just comes from the fact that we've updated it a few times. It's coming in with our finalization of Scent will have a rendition of what we're trying to do with the map. So basically, as you explore, it'll unlock and keep unlocked.
Little fog of war.
I just don't want to give people. It's me, just so you all know. I don't want to give people a map right now. Even as we add new additions into the world, people basically run in. They hit the replay tool and then they just fly through the world and they just map everything out for everyone. So there's no exploration. There's no nothing. You can just have all of the answers just thrown in your face immediately. So I just wanted a little bit of exploration at first. I mean, obviously it doesn't get over with most people now because they're used to all right, let me hit the button. This is where I am. This is where you are. We'll meet here. Cool. Go. And that's just, it's not the vibe for some people. So,
I mean, they already have the map, so they're
I know. Oh well, these things happen.
My other question, since I've been playing, is why do I feel like so much info is fucking hidden? Why do I have to be in a fight, hit tab, wait 3 seconds to see my health?
Yeah,
and then when I hit tab, it takes up my whole screen, and then there's a Diablo rushing me and it throws me off the cliff, and it's Why can't? Is there a way? Is there a way we could toggle
Okay.
percentages over the icons? Like, why do I have to hit tab, hover my mouse, 94?
How about this?
I'm
Is there a thought
solving that
process? Oh, you got
I'm
it.
solving that. Yeah, I'm solving that by going in the other direction. We removed the heart that allowed you to see the exact percentage of your health because that was for determining bugs and values to make sure nothing was super off base. Now we have a way to read that much easier. We're not even going to give you your heart rate. That's going away. You'll know your health from the damage on the screen, the post-processing effects, and what's occurring in front of you. You'll have to make estimation on what you think you can take on, but it'll be very clearly demonstrated before we move to that direction. I don't like the concept of someone trying to min-max their health in a fight. This is not a combat game like that. That's simply not the vibe or direction that I'm going for.
Okay.
You
I
said
can
this is
understand
not
That's
that.
fine. I
combat?
respect that. Yeah, I was.
So the
Yeah,
blood, the blood effect.
it's a little misleading because you guys have come in at a part where we start to remove some holdovers of the other stuff, but it's not fully just transcribed to someone who just picks up the game, and that's just me.
Okay. Is there a thought process on maybe making the blood a little more distinguishable early? I feel like the blood starts kind of heavy and you're kind of like full health and shit still.
I think
you know?
you mentioned that, right? Like you guys are reworking that because that's it. That's all we would need. Yeah. Like slight
I like
different
the
stages.
ballpark idea, but I feel like it's like a wide park right now. You know what I'm saying? It's like 3 ballparks.
It could still
Maybe
be
that's what you want
loose.
though, and I get that if that's the case.
Wait.
He's talking about
just-
like it's hard to tell the blood stages on the screen.
Oh yeah, no, 100%, 100%. I've got something that I guess I could. Give me a moment.
Because one blood stage looks like the other blood stage, and then
Yeah,
when
and
you
that's
get to the
why
one
I
blood
have to
stage, it
tab.
looks the
It's tough
same.
to tell the differences, and I get him wanting to be not pinpoint on what stuff is, but you get a little blood a little early, and you're still green and shit, you know.
Yeah, it's a terrible time. We've got post-processing
Donnie's chill.
effects
This-
that
Donnie's
will come
way
over your
chiller
screen,
than
including
than
the
peop-
imagery
than
of the
the-
blood that will intensify
the
as
gamers
you are
that played
bleeding.
this game
So you'll
made it
know the
sound
difference
like-
between being
People were
injured,
making it
which
sound
is
like
just a little
Donnie's
bit
just
of
some
red
fucking
versus
angry
blood
man that doesn't
actively
give a
pouring
fuck
down
about
screen,
the
which,
players. Like, what the fuck?
For those of you wondering, it
Bro,
will
he's
be masked
completely
out
normal
in the center, so it
and,
will not get
like,
in the way
easy
of
to talk
actual
to.
gameplay, but you will be
The
able to
people
tell that
who Doom
shit's
like
pouring
Doom
real
spoke
hard
about
on
him
the
were
sides.
insane to me.
Are you
And
gonna
if
make
and
it
if
so
it's
you
not
can't see the
terrible,
blood
it'll-
icon as well?
No, because people still, I feel, have gotten a certain degree of understanding with that. I don't know if we should even pull it out. We might try it just for the sake of a test and see how it goes, because I'm never opposed to that. Why not try something? But it'll probably remain.
Gotcha. Okay.
Hell yeah.
Okay, I like that. I think that the heartbeat thing is like something that people use probably just because the blood's a little bit tough to tell. You know, well, at least for us.
No, it's understandable. No, that's just a shortcoming of the game right now that I recognize.
We
Are you still gonna have information like bite force and such? Because people I know utilize that info too to tell health. Like they see that their bite force is lower or that they are wounded. They can tell their health based off of those two things too, right?
So yes and no. The bite force originally was supposed to kind of be. It wasn't a direct measurement of your damage. It was kind of more of the information of the dinosaur. So it would just be the generic bite force of what this dinosaur was. Again, we used it because you can see information there, and it's helpful to diagnose when issues are there. So no problem. But we have animals that it's like Triceratops. It's going to have a bite force depending on its primary attack, which is red there. Its bite force wouldn't be its bite force. Its bite force would be whatever its damage is dealing with its horns. You know, and then if it's like, oh, well, if we put a bite force for its actual bite, well, right now the Triceratops doesn't even have a bite. It's unlikely that we may give it a bite. But if it does have a bite, do we put the bite force as the actual bite? Question mark.
Okay.
So that's all.
Serious question marks.
Yeah, no, it's just, I don't know, man. I don't know yet.
Okay. Server population, is the idea like that 100 is pretty solid on the map?
For the
For
moment,
officials?
for officials at least, that's what we're sticking to. For now.
Gotcha.
I know everyone goes, more server slots, and there's unofficials that do it. Great, play there. I also tell people that as the development of the game goes on, people should be finding their niches in unofficial servers anyway. That's where the spirit of the game is going to be.
I have a question about that. Party sizes, will there be the ability to like customize like pack sizes default to like that server for unofficials? Like if they have different ideas of how they want the pack sizes to be?
We had mutations for it that could affect it. We weren't planning on putting in. Yeah, we weren't planning on putting in a config for it, but you never know.
Okay.
All right, fair. So at least, you know how like the Dibble's got a big ass head. You know what I'm saying? It's very wide, even from what you can see. Is there any thought? Is there any chance that maybe the same thing's occurring on the tail of the Stego? Maybe it's just giant. Maybe it's just, maybe it's just a fucking giant radius.
I like that he's thinking.
I completely agree with what he just said to you, by the way, Summon. I completely agree.
I mean, I'd be thinking too, because these are, yeah.
Hey, Summon, now you know how it feels, by the way.
I was gonna joke and say average dev response.
I'm not gonna lie. I didn't know that I was supposed to respond. I didn't realize there was a question in that. Wait, I'm apparently forehead. Can you repeat the question?
Yeah, is there a chance the Stego tail is as broken as the Dibble's forehead?
Oh, I would have to go look.
Like the radius of the attack.
I'm never going to be like, no, there's no chance it's broken, because I used to be arrogant as hell and be like, no, there's no way that's broken, and then I'd go look and oh shit. Well,
okay.
Yeah, I don't like having egg in my face. Could be. I'll have to go look.
I have a question. What do you main? What's your main dino?
You can't do that to him.
No, I want to know.
Plays Rex on his private time.
You can't do that to him because everybody will
I want to
say.
know if you're a meat eater or a fucking herbivore.
It depends on if I'm playing with people.
Okay.
What's your solo dino?
My solo dino for the most part, right now I would say is Diablo Ceratops. But
Okay.
the problem of it being, like, again, with it being bugged, I spend most of my time just tooling around with the spar because we're trying to make that work for the Triceratops. There's still problems with it that we want to iron out because it's going to be a bigger one. And you know,
what's the spar? Is that the charge?
No, the spar is when you hit control and then you kind of have your little omnidirectional movement.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
What? Regarding the Stego, would you ever get increasing that window a bit of downtime? Like, it's crazy. You get stunned by the Stego and he get triple swipe, instant swipe. Like, he's such a big dino. I feel like maybe it wouldn't hurt there for it to be a little.
Oh, we're asking for real specific stuff now.
Yeah. That's the only problem I felt with this. I mean, I know there's a window, but it just feels so little.
I mean,
or stamina.
Especially with desync and all that, I guess.
But that doesn't sound like a big ask at all. If you're being sincere, I mean, like, when you guys are done streaming and you guys want to go play, let's go play. Let's go find some issues. You guys think there's some stuff? Okay, I play this game. Let's go see.
Yeah, we're freaks. We're down
Oh, bro, we're gonna send you at every fucking Stego we see.
Are you?
Put him in first.
Or the holding the tail up the entire time and with no stamina drain.
Well,
I know they get
he said
stamina
when it was
drain when
not
they
like
swing
that,
it.
that they got smoked all the time, though. He kind of talked about that earlier.
Yeah.
Okay, but all they do is tuck their head in a mountain now and just hold it up. So it's like, all right, we'll just, we won't interact with you, I guess, at this point.
But there's a point where you should have that fear of the Stego. That's also. Which I understand
but
too.
not unstoppable.
It felt unstoppable, man.
How does he see us if his head is in a mountain?
Yeah, come on, bro. Report
Fail RP, bro. Fail RP.
I mean, the other day we had like 15 Sarahs. 15.
Dropping like flies.
And we can't even, bro. They know they're invincible. They're just so cocky. It's crazy.
Yeah, they mean mug the Gators. They always talk about it.
Oh, have you ever voice chat for us RPers for the Dino game?
No.
I want to roar at people.
Hit your one key.
Yeah.
I mean, you would hear 14-year-old, like, you know, kids around, you know, just screaming on their, screeching on their mics.
I mean, honestly, it's probably better than that, than those horrible soundboards that saturate every game now.
True.
True.
Yeah, someone in the chat wants to know if you're gonna add a python. A snake, a big ass snake. Is that a dinosaur?
Wasn't that a thing in Legacy?
Dinosaur, bro.
So here's the thing. It wasn't a thing in Legacy. It's that we acquired a Titanoboa model, and I've always said I was like, absolutely, I want to try it. It's literally just Anaconda. You know?
You play it one time.
No. If you we made haha prototypes.
Yeah,
It
that's
may
what I
have been
think you let me mess with something.
Yeah, I might have let you mess with a haha prototype, but I have to tell you that if that is the case, I
was a clutch
sincerely
pig.
don't recall it.
Sarah
You let
Buff,
me do a lot of stuff.
300. Yo.
Well, thank you. So anyway,
I've been sexually, so yeah.
There it is.
Huh? Hot farming?
I
know.
didn't.
Bunker.
I was I was just trying to raise my glass. You were very kind when the game first came out. That was it. You had to go and make it something it wasn't.
Yeah.
God damn.
This is why we have bunker moments, and then we deal with it on a daily basis.
Yeah, we have a lot of bunker moments.
No, you let me play that Freight Train T-Rex variant. That thing was crazy.
Mammoth's coming out soon, right?
I got a question. What about these? One of the problems that I have with the Stego is they'll go into these locations where they know that you purposely can't step up a curb-sized rock because it'll stop you and stop your attack and everything. Is there any thought on like maybe making it so your dino can step up, a couple curbs?
We are trying to incorporate, keyword trying, both the capability to mantle something to some degree, but also in the same vein, lift your body up so you could attack in an upwards direction when flying obnoxious things are above you. Or when something's, just a foot above your head and you're like, why can't I bite this? Hips no work? This sucks.
Okay. All right, that's crazy. That's really good.
I have one final question. Do you guys plan on adding any more perks for carnivores for stamina? Like I know the herbivores have a stamina perk that they can get that helps a lot. I think it's tactical endurance, if I'm not mistaken.
Tactile endurance. Well, I've been trying to avoid stamina and speed because 9 times out of 10, it's problematic for reasons I cannot say. But
Okay.
it would be fair to say
becomes what
that
everyone
with
does.
that comes the concern because people still kind of feel like their overall stamina reserve tank drains too fast.
I mean, that's what you didn't
And that
want to
would have
say
to be
because
something
it's gonna
that
be, it's
needs
gonna
to be,
confirm that would be the most
looked
OP
at
shit.
very carefully to make sure that people just don't start falling out of stamina.
I mean, that's why I didn't want to say it.
Because even
it just
so, like
confirms
right
it.
now, if you don't almost perfectly manage things like Omniraptor, which is a very, very stamina-heavy usage character,
Yep.
it feels like you just put yourself out of the fight immediately if you don't have a very coordinated group to bleed out larger things. So,
Damn, I experienced that this morning. That's crazy that you just said that. Sorry. I've been playing Raptor a little bit. I'm brand new to it, so I learned. I got punished by low stam earlier.
I gotta go cook some dinner here, fellas.
Okay. We appreciate your time.
Thanks
Yeah,
for chilling, man.
Yep,
It was
appreciate
fun.
you, man.
Fun rants. Appreciate them all. If you're sincere, though, and you want to go and show me some gameplay problems, you reach out to Bike Man. I'm sure he can make sure it's all accommodated.
Okay, we'll do.
Thank you, dude.
All right. Yeah.
Later, done.
Y'all have a good one.
See ya.
You too.
Dang, that was pretty good.
Oh, there you go.
All right. Well,
Okay.
heard some stuff I liked, so a couple
Okay.
things I didn't like,
Okay.
but it's
All
pretty good overall.
Yeah.